Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the October edition of the Capacity Building Training, proudly brought to you by the Three Corner Association of Realtors platform. We are super excited to have you here, and we promise this would be a section you wouldn't want to miss because you will learn a lot from it. I'm Christabel Charles, also known as the social media maven, and as always, it's a pleasure being the one to guide these conversations that turn us into better realtors and salesmen. Tonight's section is one that every realtor, new or old, needs to master, and it's called the follow-up formula, turning leads into buyers. And today we have a very seasoned realtor and professional in the real estate business that is here to talk and guide us through this conversation. A little backstory on who our guest speaker is for today. Mrs. Ogechi Nzazim-Simon, widely known as LandBoss, is an accomplished realtor and sales coach with 5 years of exceptional results in the Nigerian real estate market. Having made sales worth over 500 million, she has worked with top real estate companies in Port Harcourt and is now building her own real estate brand in Rivers State. She's a first-class graduate of information technology from the prestigious Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Ghana. Ogechi is happily married to Mr. Nzazim-Simon, and together they share a strong commitment to family, growth, and impact. Ogechi is a sought-after trainer, public speaker, and mentor to both new and struggling realtors. She's the creator of the Millionaire Realtor Academy and has conducted impactful trainings on real estate fundamentals, sales strategies, and leveraging AI tools for property marketing. Beyond sales, she's a published author and passionate teens and youth mentor, committed to empowering others to achieve financial success and personal growth. Her blend of expertise, energy, and proven results makes her a force in the real estate industry. You can connect with her as LandBoss via her social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube with the name LandBoss. And tonight, we get to learn directly from that experience. Thank you so much, Ma, for being here.
Thank you for the invitation.
You look so beautiful,
You too. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, so let's dive in. We'll start with the basics before moving to the deeper parts where you get to break plates and shake some cables. So let's begin with, when we talk about follow-up in real estate, what does it really mean? Is it just sending a quick message, or does it go deeper than that?
Okay, it goes deeper than that.
Okay.
Right? Follow-up means staying in touch with your client or your prospect after the first contact. And we don't only have follow-up. We have follow-up, we have follow-back, we have follow-through.
Sure.
So people think that, or realtors think that after the first transaction, or if a client makes payment, that's the beginning. In fact, there's what we call lifetime value of clients.
Okay.
For me, I tell realtors when I train them that it's a waste of resources for you to just meet a client. The client buys, and then that ends the conversation. No. In fact, you should build the relationship to the point where the client makes you their lifetime,
and even get to refer
you to friends and family. I'm telling you, because the cost of acquiring a new client is more expensive than maintaining an existing one. So that's where follow through and follow back comes in. So what is follow back? Follow back, just like we have Instagram, follow me, let me follow you. Follow back is keeping in touch with your clients. After the transaction, you still reach out to them, ask them questions. How was the service? How did you feel about the whole transaction? Sometimes even ask for feedback, because when client gives you feedback, it's easier when people hear about your services from others, right? So clients can give you feedback, give you testimonial. Oh, I like the way you hold the conversation. I like the way you are very equipped, you are well informed, you kept giving me good information. I like the way you helped me through the journey. So that's what follow back basically is. Then we have the one we call follow through. Follow through is you promise to get back to your client on something. So let's say inspection was done and the client says, okay, I like the place, but confirm if I can get it for a discounted price. Confirm if I can get the corner piece. Confirm if I can make payment after 2 weeks, because that is when the money I'm expecting will come in. Whatever you do from that is what we call follow through. So you reach out to the company, reach out to your boss and say, okay, this is what my client is saying. Can we give him a leverage of 2 weeks? Can we give him a liberty of 2 weeks to make payment and all of those things? So follow through is what you keep doing. So if realtors think that follow up is just to call them and ask them to make payment. That is where they have challenges. So it's not. So I'm going to give you a practical example. So I have my fashion designer. I tell her that she's eating my money a lot. And this is because she helps me and walk me through the processes. There are like different things she does. So the first thing, one of the things she does is when I want to make a new clothes, I reach out to her. She will send me styles to choose from. She walks me through the process. Okay, this one would work for this event. This one will not work for the event. That's the first thing. The second thing is that she delivers on promise. So if she says that, okay, this is going to be delivered to you so time, she would ensure she do that. That's not follow through, right? And then another thing she does is when she delivers these clothes, you can just wear them almost immediately. You're not having issue trying to amend, launder. They are just all ready. So these are the things, she does these things and she keeps me hooked. I've used that for over 2 years now, right? So if realtors would look for a system around this, that you can have someone coming to your DM, you can have a prospect reach out to you, they buy property from you, you're able to follow up, they buy from you. Yeah. And in the process of following them up, you follow through. Whatever you promise, you say, okay, stick to it. You keep giving them real market insights, valuable insight, you keep doing all of that. And eventually they buy from you. Then you keep following back. So you don't just stop. After a while, you reach out to them. You tell them to refer you. Tell them to share testimonials with you. Because one other thing in real estate is we have what we call security. We have possession and documentation. Okay. A client will come and get documents. That is security on documentation. What about possession? Possession happens when there is physical location. The client comes and then sees his property and decides to either do a full fence, a dual fence, or any kind of fence that he wants to do. So that is physical possession. But if you're not keeping in touch with your clients, you're not carrying them on this journey, staying truth with them, you're not even following up. You don't even know if the client has gone for physical possession or the property is just there. Sometimes some clients are not even available to come for physical allocation. But you as a realtor, you would keep them, you keep them in touch, speak to them and help them through it. So when we talk about follow-up, I want to talk about follow-up. Follow-up is actually nurturing relationship, building trust, staying true to your whys. As a realtor, is very important. In fact, follow-up should form the basis of your business. Don't just acquire new clients, new leads, just leave them there. No, follow through, follow up, and follow back on anything you have promised. That way, you are nurturing the relationship, you are building trust, and you are staying constantly in their minds. And you do this too with the content you put out there. So not only content on the properties, you put educative content about your environment, about the city you are selling, about trends, things that are happening in the real estate industry. All of these things help your clients whenever they think about you, whenever they want to refer someone to their family or friends.
Your name is the first.
So follow-up is extremely important. It's they say that the joke of the work or the money is in the follow-up. If you close you make money as much as you can follow up. I can meet you today and then you want to buy a property and maybe you get home and someone else, or during a conversation, somebody else is talking to you about properties, right? And you're like, okay, who do you choose? It is what we do individually. What I do, the way I hold conversation, the way I keep informing you, giving you good information about the property, and what not only about the property, what is even happening and how you can the real estate market, how you can actually make more money from your investment. All of those information will not help you. Okay, if this lady is always giving good content, she knows what she's saying, she's well informed, she's timely. So she promised to get back to me on this. She has done that. She promised to get back to me on that. She has done that. She promised to send me the layouts to pick plots, and she's walking me through the process. She promised to get to the office and ask about the discounts I was asking for. And you're more encouraged to buy with me. So
that's such a clear definition. I love how you broke down. So we know follow up, follow through, and follow back. Yeah, it's good. Now that leads me to something interesting. Why do you think so many realtors avoid or struggling with follow up, even when they know how important it is?
Fear of rejection.
Oh. Okay.
That just it. Fear of rejection. But this is what I want you to know. I want you to know that it's not everyone that reach out to you that will buy immediately.
Yes.
In fact, I've had the clients that we've known for the longest.
Okay.
Since I started this industry, and he later bought from me 3 years later. Yeah, 3 years after, right? I know there's a particular person. He has not even said anything. I just noticed that he would like my post. Congratulations. Oh, happy wedding. All of those little things. And then all of a sudden, one day, he sends a message. Is this property available? I said, yes, it's available. He said, okay, I'm going to send a lawyer. He sent his barrister the next day. Under 24 hours. I have it on my Instagram. A deal I closed under 24 hours. But imagine, so that person had met that person way before I started real estate. So you need to understand that not everyone that meets you will buy immediately.
Yes.
Not everyone that comes for inspection will pay immediately. They can go home and something else comes up. There's an emergency, there's a distraction. I have a client
move their mind.
Yes, I have a client, he came for inspection and the next day he had to go to work. And by the time he got to the office, they had to send him out of the country. He left the country. So he got focused completely. Yeah, so I've been trying to reach him, and then I later got to know that he said when he comes back to Nigeria, that is when he will make payment. Okay. So imagine if, because you're not getting response from them, they are silent or they are quiet, and you get angry and say, I don't even like what this one is doing. People are going through a lot. Like, you can live here this moment and tomorrow there is a big deal for something for you to celebrate, or something that just takes your mind off the initial conversation you had with the realtor. So the problem is fear of rejection. But you need to know that rejection is not about you. It's not anything personal about you. And rejection is part of it. Somebody once said that for you to get one yes, you would have gotten 99 no's. So in fact, the more you get rejected, your
immune system is like immune to really, you're not even scared of it.
In fact, this one happens to me always. Anytime I lose a big deal, like there was one deal I lost sometime in the middle of this, it was so painful. I felt because the deal was as good as done. But what that does for me is it pushes me. I start looking for what I didn't do right. Exactly. I start learning. It has happened once, twice, 3 times. And guess what? So I might lose a deal of, let's say, 5 million. And in the next few weeks, I'm making a deal over 50 million. It's like the universe just has a way of paying me back. So just know that rejection is nothing personal. Okay. Sometimes the client doesn't even know why. So, we have this role. We have way to segment others, the ready, available, and willing. Yeah. Sometimes the client is ready to make payment, but it's not available. Like this is my client. He has the money, but it's not available. It's not in the country. Sometimes they are willing to make, but the money is not available, right? So know that it's nothing personal. Rejection is normal. So don't be scared of rejection. It's part of the business. Eventually, you will reach your goals, no matter how many rejections you have. But if you give up, you will not get there. So realtors should understand that rejection is part of it. So in fact, anticipate rejection. Anticipate it.
Just see rejection as something that will help you grow better.
Yes, well,
this is a topic that we realtors have had issues. It's not only clients that have pain points. This is one of the pain points for us as realtors.
Honestly.
Right. So on to the next question. Timing also plays a huge role in following up. So, for instance, you get a number of a prospect. The timing it takes, can you explain what's the right rhythm or frequency for follow-ups without coming off as too pushy or desperate?
Okay, so this is where a lot of realtors have challenge, right? And I like this one so much. The rhythm, for me, the rhythm is dependent on the phase of the conversation, the project at hand, and the chemistry between you and your client. So there's what I call a love language, like client love language. There's some clients you might not really vibe with. There's some clients you vibe with. So the rhythm is dependent on the conversation. And I'll give you a couple of examples. So I had this client. He's a returning client. He bought a property from me last year. Okay. And after the transaction was over, he was impressed and he was happy. But then I kept tabs with him. Like I said, follow through and follow back. So I didn't just leave him there. One of the things realtors do is that when they close a deal and probably they've had their commission,
don't forget about it.
I've had a client complain about his realtor to me, one of his realtors. Like, of course, clients have a lot of realtors, right?
Exactly.
That's complaining that this lady, all she wanted was, once the deal was closed, she had her money, she has forgotten it. And some clients don't feel good about that. Yeah. So this particular client, he reached out to me in January. I will not even say he reached out because we talk like often. Part of his life is part of my life, you understand? Because what makes people easily buy property from me is when you have built a relationship with them.
Felt that personal connection.
Exactly. Yeah. So if it's a relationship that has lasted or that is building, it's easier for them to always communicate. They will even ask you questions. Oh, my child is about to get married. Who should I contact for the decor? They will ask a lot of questions. Yeah, like they are consultant for life. Yeah. So in January, I think at the beginning of the year, we started talking. He said he needs a property that he will use for either short-let or hotel. He was okay with either a land or a building. We started searching and I would show him what we have. Sometimes before he's coming for inspection, because he's a busy man, the property is out of the market or it doesn't suit what he wanted. So over time, it didn't work. And we just went silent for a while. Then there was a period, I think his wife was supposed to have a birthday. He reached out to me that, okay, I would like you to plan something for my wife and all of that. So that we're still in talk. Okay. Yeah. So we're still in talks. It's not because, just bring land conversation every time. But no, you have to make it feel like a relationship. Yeah. You're building it.
Connect with them
on a deeper and personal level. So few months later, we didn't send it. We were just there. He reached out to me that his wife wanted to do birthday, wanted to do a surprise and all of that. We had that conversation. And so later on, there was an announcement that a new property was coming to the market in a prime location. And this was like some weeks before the property got into the market. So as usual, I reached out to my client and then I specifically sent him a message. I said, sir, have you been able to get a property for the hotel or you been able to get the property you wanted? He said, no. I said, okay, are you open for some new listing that I'll go? He said, oh, why not? I am. So when the properties, 1 week to when the property will be launched. Now, usually it's always good to buy in pre-launch sales, like a lot of time. That's when you make a lot of profits. So, and that is why a good realtor should be doing that work for their client. So I reached out to him and then I told him, he said, okay, I'm open for it. So we booked an inspection a week later and we inspected the property on Thursday and he told me, so okay, I'm okay with this. I don't need to. Now he has bought from me before. Yeah. So it's easier for him to buy from me.
Yeah, he trusts you well.
Yes. So I'm talking about the redeem and the timing of the follow-up, right?
Yes.
So now we had started this conversation long, like almost 6 months at a time. But I would check in, he would check in, we kept tabs with each other. So we inspected, he said, okay, I'm okay with this property. The next is for me to make payment and I'm waiting for you. Once you say go, I go. So that was on a Thursday. By Friday, 11 a.m., we're supposed to get the layout of the layout printed out and sent to him to pick his plot. When I reached out to him, I said, okay, sir, you can go ahead and make payments. Now, this was a day after the inspection. He said he can't make payment now because it's a huge sum of money. He can't do a transfer. He has to call his account manager. That she just leave it till on Monday, right? So that was on Friday. We had a conversation on by Monday around 11. So I sent him. He said yes, that they're already in the bank and they're trying to make the transaction. Okay. And a few minutes later, we got the alert of the first payment. So now you see that our flow, me and this particular client, is because of our relationship and the fact that he trusts me, he has bought from me before.
And you're patient enough to follow through as long as
yes. And so for me, it's not just I'm trying to close it, I'm trying to help this man. Yeah. And so what happened is he was able to buy in the pre-launch phase. So he bought at a pre-launch price. That's 25% of the actual value of the land at the time. Wow. Then also, he was also able to choose plots where he wanted. And he also explained to the company what he wants to develop, and that his plan was factored into the general plan of the estate, right? So the general plan of the estate development, his own plan, his own structure, what he wanted to do was factored into. So the rhythm of the conversation, the rhythm is dependent on the flow. There have been some clients where I know that these people, both of us, our energy is not matching like that. So let me probably link him or link her to my colleague that has a kind of energy level that suits our own. So the rhythm is dependent on the conversation, the transaction, the phase. If the property is about to increase soon, you have to be on their neck as soon as possible. So for a hot prospect, that means a prospect that have done inspection and is going to pay, or the person is going to pay. Because during the inspection, if a client is going to pay.
Yes.
There are some behaviors, there are some expression. They start smiling from body language. They start asking a lot of questions. Yeah. That client is going to make payment. So for a hot prospect that he will make payment, 2-3 days is okay. Like now, we went for inspection on Thursday, Friday, I'm sending him a message, and on Monday morning, I'm also reminding him. So you see the time interval. Then for maybe a warm audience, a warm prospect, somebody that he has inspected, but you don't know if he's going to pay, maybe 1 week. Right? 1 week, 3 days, 1 week, it's also okay. But what I do, what works for me always is that I constantly use my platform to keep in touch. So you use your platform to constantly post. So whether they are reaching out to you, whether they are just seeing your status, they are seeing your posts on Instagram, on Facebook, you can actually keep tabs, keep posting as often as possible. And as long as they are seeing your post, it's coming to their mind. I've closed a deal because One of my clients, the guy, okay, he was still a prospect, he was still dragging feet, and then he saw that somebody has made payment, his friend, and the guy got a voucher, because then we were giving voucher. I posted about it. He's like, no, how would my friend get voucher? I don't get voucher. Immediately, he just made
Fear of missing out.
Yes, he made his own payment. So the rhythm is dependent on the phase. There are some clients I can give them 3 months. I can give them a while because we are not in a hurry. The property is still in the market, it's still fresh, there's still enough plot. But because I know that I'm helping these people build generational wealth. If the value is leaving the market soon, or if the property is about to increase, my dear, I will actually
on your shoulder.
Yes, so I'll be on their shoulder and be there with them and always remind them of what they need to.
So from one question, we've gotten so many lessons. First, so probably clients that'll get to watch this video. Now they know that buying properties off plan has to be one of the best things to do.
Very, very, very.
And then for we realtors, you know that connection is the key to actually following up real, and then knowing the rhythm. Having patience also is there. But now we might find it hard to personalize some messages to clients because we have like a whole large portfolio of our clients, a lot. And then we don't want to be stressed with always writing a personalized message. How can I send a template that I have prepared already, but for it to still have that personal connection to it? So how exactly can I do this without sounding automated?
First of all, you should know that you're not a machine. You're not a robot sitting behind your keyboard. You're a human being, an actual human being. And you should just hold conversations like human beings hold conversations, right? And then that's the first one. So from what you're saying, it could be like a broadcast message.
Yes, ma'am.
So have the real estate terminologies in your conversation, whatever message you are sending, because we know that with me, I receive broadcast messages from some vendors I've patronized before, right? For me, when I receive those messages, what makes it more impactful is maybe the person drops a message and say, hello, how are you doing? Ask some specific questions. So for a broadcast message, you might not be able to personalize it so much because you're sending to a lot of persons. In that list, you have both male, you have female, you have the Gen Zs, the millennials, you have different generations, right? But what I would say is, when you drop those messages, try to streamline the message to us to communicate your humanity. It's not be like it's a robot or it's AI that has crafted out the message. Then the next thing you check in with some other messages. Hello, sir, how are you doing? Right? You even try to hold other conversations. I tell realtors, when you go on inspections with clients, try to listen to what they are saying. Know their names. Hold conversations, calling their names. Understand what they are saying. So there was a particular realtor, this particular client, right, that we took for inspection. And I was so impressed with how conversant he was with all the development in the areas. Oh, this is a Neka link road. I knew when property was selling for 2.5. I bought it when it was 2.5. Now it's selling for 50 million, 70 million. Oh, I've always wanted to get a property on the Grita, Achupoku. So when I have conversations with this man, I know what I'll be saying.
You know the pain points, right?
I know the pain points. He likes pre-launch sales. No matter whatever you are saying, he buys property only when the property is newly launched in the market or is about to increase in price. So because I already know, so I know my client personally, I can sit down here and tell you 5 different personalities of my client, right? Tell you how they want to be treated, how they want to be communicated to, how they want you to communicate with them.
Yes.
So the point is, when you drop those messages, try to express it as a human being, right? And then after that, see how you can drop other messages to check up. Even call. Check WhatsApp status. When you see anything they post, you can, there's this thing WhatsApp has now, you can like.
Yeah,
you can just give that green heart emoji. You can like, you can leave a comment, you can hold conversation. Sometimes you say, oh, sir, I saw that there was a particular client, he had even traveled with his wife for holiday. And I'm like, okay, you're enjoying over there. Don't forget your friends. This kind of conversation. So you want to make it feel like we are
very personal
and we're human. So don't just drop personalized messages and leave it there. Sometimes you call them out by their name. Of course, there is a CRO system. There's a system you can use to actually send messages, broadcast messages, and still personalize it. But maybe that will be a question for another day.
That's good, actually. So we know that personal touch creates trust. Yeah. So I want to ask, I want to tell me a story, if you have actually. So have you been in a situation where consistent follow-up led to you closing the deal? So probably you've had this person as a cold lead and let's say 2-3 years, but then you still check up once in a while, and then it led to you closing the deal. Have you had like that whole situation? I would like to hear this.
How many do you want to hear? 50, 20, 100?
As much as you have the time.
Okay, let me look for one that is very striking. I like this one so much because at the time then, so I have scheduled time I follow up on my clients, right? I have scheduled time where I call them. This particular person, I like this particular one because he was a cold audience. He was a cold lead. I'd not met him before, but maybe he's related. I don't know if how they are related, but a man that bought from me, one of my clients, early this year, he liked the way we attended to him. He was impressed. He wanted us to sell properties to his colleagues in the office. And in fact, he had to even buy for some of them. So one of the persons that he bought for, that one said, okay. So normally, this is what I do. When I finish transition my test, I'll tell them, please, you can refer me to other persons if you want to. There's always a referral button. You usually say it, but you can refer me. Spread the good news. Somebody is about to be scammed today because they don't know LandBoss. Come on, talk to them, tell them. So I do that as often as possible. Okay. So when I told him, he was like, no problem. I have some person that want to buy. I said, I'm open. So a few months later, let me say a few weeks later, there was no response. I didn't get a number. I said, okay, look, sir. You said you have a brother that wants to buy property. When is he coming? He said, I don't know, but I've told him about you. A few weeks later, I'm like, okay, I think you are very busy. This is my life work. I'm available. Send his number to me. Let me know the conversation. Yes. So when he sent the number, when I called this particular man is always busy. Always busy. Like, if you call him, you could literally hear the noises in his background, every time. But this is what I do. If I'm speaking to you for the first time, I would my goal then is not for you to sell. I mean, it's not for me to sell to you or for you to buy. My goal is to ensure two things. You save my number and you come to a platform where I am very efficient at. It comes to a platform where I'm very efficient. That's where you are constantly seeing what I'm doing in my post. Because I believe that when people indicate interest, I tell people that anybody that indicates interest to buy property with me, either today or later in the future, they will definitely buy. If I've had 100 persons reach out to me, I've been able to close 85 to 90% of them in a period of time. So I believe that once you ever say, okay, hello, how much is this or what is this? You want to buy, you have the mindset to invest. You might not have the money yet or something. So when we had the conversation, I tried to let him save my number. And then I told him who sent his number to me and where I'm coming from and what I'm calling for. So he saved my number. I reached out to him again on call. And he's like, he's busy and all of that, no problem. So we're able to now start talking on WhatsApp. So now I notice that he sees my status, which is very beautiful. I love that so much. So there was going to be a public holiday in the month of June. I will not forget this day. I was in the office then. That was on a Wednesday. The public holiday was supposed to be on Thursday. Okay. And Wednesday is not my days of calling my client because usually Wednesdays are inspection days. So I schedule my calling for the days I have less inspections to carry out. So I just remembered him. I have this alarm on my phone. Call this. So when I call clients, I have a CRM system. I manage their conversations, whatever they say. Mm. Then on my phone, too, there are some calls. Especially when I'm calling the client, I'm not getting audience. I could just schedule. So I scheduled our call for the particular time. So I think I don't know if it was my alarm that came up or it came to my mind. All I know is that I just remembered him and then I called him. And as God will have it, he said, yes. Tomorrow is public holiday and I'll be in Port Harcourt tomorrow. Can we do the inspection? I said, why not? What am I doing? So I said, why not? So the next day, I sent him the office address. He came for inspection. We had the inspection. It was him and his wife. And during the inspection, he was just saying, okay, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm convinced. You just need to speak to my mother. Once she's on board, we are good to go. So we finished the inspection. We got to the office. The lady negotiated. And as we were about leaving, I said, sir, this deal is already closed though. Before you step out, you have to do a deposit. I don't joke with that one. Because sometimes realtors are afraid to ask for the money. They're afraid to ask for the sales. You should. You have worked so far. You've taken the clients, the prospect through a lot of journey. Now they are here, they've inspected. They like the place. They are okay with it. They've even negotiated. Abba, the next thing is to ask for payment, right? So I asked him and he said, okay, for me to let you know that I'm very okay with it, we're going to do a transaction that because of the amount of the property, they can't do all the payments the whole time. They have to go to the bank. So he dropped the first deposit. 1 million naira, and then the next day, before 12 p.m., I've seen the alert. So this is to say that follow-up works. If I I'm sure if I didn't call them, the money has always been in his account, because a lot of things happen. Probably the clients finished inspection, got home, something else happened, an emergency, something that is distracting them, or they have a lot of questions that have not been answered. So all of these things could affect, right? So what I'm saying in essence is that you ask for the payment, right? And this thing works a lot of times. And this is on one side. I would like to share another one. This particular one, the follow-up was not directly done by me. It was done by my content. So I put out, if you go to my Instagram now, LandBoss, you see on my highlights, you see Investors Corner, you will see a section or a part for realtors, right? Realtors only. The realtors only, the content there for realtors. Why the Investors Corner for investors, yeah. So this particular lady, she's not in town, she's not in Port Harcourt. She had reached out to me several times. I'll answer all her questions. And I think this is one thing I want to tell every realtor: be in your suitcase or your toolbox, hold patience as one of it. Yeah, in fact, I tell people patience, from patience to endurance, from endurance to long suffering. You have to hold that fruit of the spirit because doesn't all be like, how do you manage to? Well, I say I'm a salesperson.
Yes,
You have to.
It's a necessity.
A client have asked me, how did your boss? Where is your boss from? How was he able to make so much money that he has so many properties? In fact, a client have asked me, where are you from? What's the name of your village? Like, they want to know where I'm coming from, just in case. So this lady has asked a lot of questions. And one day she reached out to me herself. So, okay. So I knew that she has a lot of questions and concerns. And then she asked me a question. I said, answering her will not really do justice. I just went to my Instagram, copied the link, sent to her. She went there, watched the video. I'm sure she saw other videos. And she came back, okay, I'm ready to make payments. That's how she made payment, right? So follow-up is not only directly when you just reach out to clients. It's also in the little things you do. The fact that you're not showing you are angry at their constant questioning. The fact that you are well-informed and well-equipped to provide them with answers. The fact that they can even reach out to you immediately and you are responding. The fact that they can go to your Instagram, go to your Facebook, they are seeing content about
explaining what they need.
Because she has questions, but by the time she got there, she's seen the content I made even before she came with her question. So she was sold already. So it was easier for her to make payment. And the fact that you are being consistent and always there, clients want to know that they can trust you. You are here for the long haul. You're not going to run with their money, or you're not going to disappear. They want to know that this is your business. And as such, you treat it as one.
You made mention of social media as one of the good mediums. So, there are other mediums for follow-up. We have calls, we have emails, we have normal DMs on Instagram pages, WhatsApp, and then we have the normal text. Which one would you say works most for you?
What most for me, right?
Yeah.
My dear, it's dependent on the generation of my clients.
Okay.
Yes. All of them works depending on the generation. For example, if you are talking to a millennial or a Gen X, okay, no, let me not use millennial. Let them not feel like I'm coming after them. But a Gen S, what's email? Like, those people are just trying to get used to technology, you understand? Right? So this is it there. Calls help for bonding. Because I used to put that our words bond us. Calls help with bonding, keeping in touch. WhatsApp messages, WhatsApp help with rapport and building trust. So if I speak to you for the first time, it's important. But then when I constantly see your status, when I can easily send you a message, and in fact, WhatsApp is a more personalized medium of communication. Then email is structured and is good for educating clients. So I think these different platforms or medium, it works based on the generation you are conversing with.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the platform that you are more efficient with. What I do is when I meet people anywhere, whether on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere, I try to bring them to my world. My world is my WhatsApp. Even before I buy anything from any event, or even if I see your ads on Facebook or Instagram, I will bring you down to my WhatsApp because I feel like it's more personal. I can call you. I can even do video call to ensure that I'm speaking with a real human being. So all of this medium, like I said, is dependent on the generation you are communicating with at the time. That's either the client is a Gen X, millennial, or a Gen Z. And then it's also dependent on what you want to build part-time. So for calls, there are some conversations that will not work until you have called the client. Because I've had a client I closed just by calling him. My mother was like, I see you're a good salesperson. I said, sir, okay, I know, because he came through us. And when people come through us, they've not tried you before. Those lists, you need to do extra to convince them, right? So I had to say, okay, let us see how we can close this transaction on this call. So it depends on the situation you're speaking with, and it depends on what you want to build part-time.
So you talked about CRM. Let's talk about staying organized now. How can a realtor manage multiple follow-ups effectively without dropping the ball? So probably you can give us more explanation about your CRM database if that's not confusing.
Somebody wants to enter my... Okay, let me see how to just give or not give us a good example. So first of all, you need to be structured. You need to be structured. There are different CRM systems you can use, but the easier one, just use a Google Sheets.
Okay.
You cannot get a CRM system, you can just use a Google Sheet or Excel sheet. But I use Google because you can access your information anywhere. So just use a Google Sheet to track conversations, to manage your client database, So I like giving examples. When I started that in real estate 5 years ago, I think 1 year into the industry, I noticed something. I noticed that I was having a lot of interest, a lot of people, a lot of audience, client, leads were indicating interest. This was a period where my sales had gone low, and I was like, what was the problem? So I took my phone. In the office, I printed out a sheet. Then I didn't use Google Excel sheet. I just did a manual one. I printed out a sheet. I had my name on it. And then I had like partition, name, phone number, feedback 1, feedback 2, feedback 3 to like feedback 5. And I'm like, so I started going through my contact. I checked my WhatsApp messages, my Messenger, Instagram DMs. I checked everything. I started writing out the names of the prospects and whatever they have said. So when I've written it out and then their phone number, I was telling my colleagues, I said, if I'm able to close 85% of these numbers here, I'm a big girl. I noticed that I'd had a lot of persons reached out to me. So this is something about growth. Growth works with structure. Okay. If you cannot measure your structure, if you don't have a means of measurement, you will not even know if you are growing or not. So you can have tons of people reach out to you every time DM because you're not tracking these conversations, you're not tracking these messages, you're not tracking this contact. You don't even know you have a lot to make a big boy or a big girl. So what I did is after writing out their names and their contacts, I started reaching out to them. I kid you not, in less than 3 months, I closed 85% of those people. And what helped me? So now I am seeing what the last conversation we had. So in the feedback one, I'll write what they said. And so okay, one was like, call me in 3 months' time. I'll write it down. Yes. I've been trying to reach out to you. I've even been looking for your number. Call me. So there was a particular time I wanted to do cake. A little digression. I wanted to do cake, and I could not remember what I saved the lady's number with. I kept searching. And this lady is not somebody that posts often. I kept searching. I couldn't remember what I saved her number with. And then I just saw someone else message status that popped up. I just used her for... So what happens is you have to reach out to them. Sometimes these clients are even looking for you. They can't remember what they saved your number with. So your constant... Not even because your structured system would help you reach out to them. So now in interval, maybe you're reaching out to them once in a week, twice in a month or so. At least you are staying on top of their mind. So when I reached out to some persons, one particular guy was even saying, Ogechi, I've been trying to reach out to you. That one's even a story for another day. And I said, yes, so I lost my phone and all of that. And from that conversation, eventually came and he made payment. So I'll have feedback one. I'll put... So what that does for you is that you know where to pick up a conversation from. So if you're calling a client, you're not starting from ground zero. You are building up on what you already discussed. Like the man I shared on how I called and he came for inspection the next day. Imagine if after they gave me his number, I did not try. to ensure he knows me and what I'm reaching out to him for. It will be difficult, but that day, already he knew that this lady, when she calls me, is for investment, right? So that day just worked. We call it Kairos moment. It worked. There was public holiday and he'll be in town and it just worked out. So ensure that you have these feedbacks. So you can use a Google Doc to do this. If you want to do manual, you can just create a sheet and have the client's name, the phone number, and then their feedbacks, where you have their phone number written, you call them and ensure that they are seeing your status, they are seeing their status. So that also helps.
So you can't have actual growth if you've not built a structure.
No, you cannot. You cannot, because even when the growth is happening, you don't even know.
It's scattered. It's very disorganized.
No. This is scattered. And then another thing that also worked is schedule. Schedule your calls. And then I want to add this. You don't have to work in isolation. You can get a team. You can get other realtors to help. I collaborate a lot. My husband will always say that in this industry, if you want to eat the money alone, you will not have enough to eat. But if you are ready to collaborate. So sometimes, like I said at the beginning, there are some clients that your chemistry might not match. The first deal I closed, the person is a friend referred, she was in Lagos, in Kotako. She referred the family to me. And I was just new in the industry. I didn't even know what to say when we get inside. I didn't know how to say anything much. I spoke to my colleague. My colleague was the one that took them for inspection, discussed with them, and the deal was closed. And we all smiled at the end of the day, right? So you might have so much. See, if you cannot schedule enough, reach out. Get somebody on board. You don't have to. 1 or 2 realtors that are doing well like yourself, get them on board, speak with them. They would also help you with these conversations, keeping track of conversations and holding it. Imagine you run out and every day you're having like 50 to 100, 200 leads every day. Sometimes not call all of them. Not call all of them. So, my dear, collaborate and let everybody smile at the end of the day.
Thank you so much, Ma. I've had this whole time, honestly. We are not done. We are still going. So if you had to summarize a personal follow-up formula in just 3 steps, what would it be like?
Where do I start from?
It's a lot.
And so my personal follow-up formula, 1 is build connection.
Okay.
2, get them to save your contact. And then 3, push content. For this one,
I thought you were going to say patience because you were talking about it a lot.
Push content because content does a lot. I don't even know how to. You have to start explaining what content is. It's a different topic on its own. So yeah. So build the connection, ensure that you get to see them, they get to see you, and then keep pushing content.
Simple, clear, and actionable. Very sweet. So finally, what's one thing every realtor should start doing differently after this class?
Dear realtor, don't see follow-up as just an activity to make sales. See it as a medium. In fact, see it as part of your business. Just the way you wake up, you post, you go for inspection, you go for allocation, you create video content of the property, you have your explanatory videos. See follow-up as a part of the business that is both profitable for your clients and for you as a realtor. Profitable for the client in the sense that if you don't keep constant communication with your client, they will lose out on deals. See, I've had the client I explained to you, after the 2 months of buying this property, the property increased by 25%. He's already happy. Today, the property has increased with over 50%.
The return of investment is high.
It's high. So what I would say to every realtor to start doing is, please create valuable content for your clients. Create valuable content. Educate yourself. Get informed. Be conversant with the terrain you're selling. Be conversant with the development happening. When you want to follow up, don't just follow up with question on, so when are you going to make payment? No, give them good information. Developments, the phases of development, the location, how the location is increasing, is developing, and how the location is increasing in price. Let clients know because when we talk about real estate and everybody is saying you buy land today, tomorrow you are making profit. Do you really know what makes you make profit? Can a client actually come and say, okay, I want to buy a property that is selling for 8 million naira, probably let's say Igrita, And in 1 year, I want to be able to sell back this property for 12 million, 10 million. Do they really know what would even happen in the space of 1 year to make the property increase in price? So if you, as a realtor, you're not educating yourself, you're not getting informed, you're not building your capacity, and you're not also putting out valuable content out there, every follow-up will look like you are being pushy, you're just trying to make sense.
You're just desperate.
You're just desperate. But when they see that you're a value-adding realtor, see, some clients have left their realtors and follow me. I don't know if I should say that in camera. It's not bad. One particular guy told me that. So I reached out to him. There was an inspection we did previous year, last year, and he wasn't okay with the location. And he just kept quiet. At the beginning of the year, I will send broadcast message. I say, please, I'm ready. I'm open for business. My own year starts from like 2nd of January. So I sent messages to everybody. By 6th, he reached out to me on a Sunday morning. I cannot forget that day. He said that, so the realtor he bought property with the previous time, she now showed him this property. He said, no, that he has a realtor that has been telling him about this property and she gives him good content. He said, no. He reached out to me, said, can we inspect on Monday? I said, what am I here for?
Exactly.
What am I doing? What am I time? So we scheduled for the inspection. Monday early morning, we went for the inspection. And he didn't even do much. That same day, he went to the bank, he made payment. Few days later, some conversation, he had some money. I said, this property is about to increase in price. He said, really? I'm going to get another plot. He came, he bought another plot. And sometimes he'll be like, and then let me even say this, sometimes he'll be like, I like the fact that you constantly follow up and discuss and have conversation. If you see me talking with some of my clients, because you can actually turn your clients to your friends.
Yes.
People buy from you when they trust you. It will be difficult to close a stranger. Real estate is a high-ticket industry.
You need trust. You cannot get it without the connection.
You cannot get it without the connection. You cannot get it without... A wise man once said, your first 1 million will be hard work. Your first 10 million will be maybe conversations, communication, connection. But your 1 billion naira will be pure relationship. Because somebody will not give a stranger 1 billion or 10. No. So he would. So one time there was an issue with one of the properties he had. But I heard about it. I'm like, oops, sir, you're not affected. I heard that they are going to do this, do that. He said, thank you for reaching that. The reason that I even sold the property to me, she's not even saying anything. She has not even asked if I've been reallocated, reassigned, or I've gotten my document. So when you realize that this is my business, I show up because the business needs it. Follow-up is part of what we need to do. Follow-up is part of what grows the business. And I'm not just doing it because I'm only at the receiving end. My client is also at the receiving end.
Yes.
The client is investing. I used to tell people that if you don't put that money in real estate, you will squander it. You will waste it. 5 years from now, you might not see the 1 million naira you kept in the bank. But if you put it in real estate, 5 years from now, you will see the money.
It has grown.
So what you are doing, see that you are helping these people. And these clients are very busy. They don't have the luxury of time to know everything that is happening in the industry, to make all the inquiries, to ask all the questions. So what you are doing is you are giving them summarized version. But they cannot trust you if you're not improving yourself. So my advice to realtors is educate yourself, get informed, and as you get informed, please put out enough content out there to also help your clients get informed.
Thank you so much, Ma, for sharing these powerful insights and real-world strategies that has definitely made us better realtors. We're so happy that you agreed to be here with us today. Thank you so much, Ma. And I hope you enjoyed this section.
Yes, thank you.
Right? So to everyone watching, I hope you actually did enjoy this section. This section was brought to you by the Trikona Association of Realtors platform. And if you would want to join this platform to be able to gain more value like this, click the link that has been dropped in the chat box below to join the Trikona Association of Realtors platform, a platform where your growth is not just expected, but is possible. I'm Christabel Charles, and as always, it was a pleasure being your host this evening. Bye, and see you on the next edition of the Capacity Building Training. I cannot wait to see you there. Have a nice night.